Welcome back. Parents in a Dallas community say they are concerned about their children after the first U.S. diagnosis of the Ebola disease was made in their city. The infected patient, Thomas Eric Duncan, came into contact with 5 children who go to the city schools.
We've learned this is where Thomas Eric Duncan was staying during his first trip to the United States, an apartment complex in North Dallas, where authorities say the Liberian citizen may have had contact with 5 children. Those 5 children, says a Liberian community leader in Dallas, are the children of Duncan's girlfriend, who Duncan was visiting. Stanley Gay says he has talked to Duncan's girlfriend.
They are home, they are doing well.
And the children as well?
The children as well are doing fine. Again, all she asks is for her prayers.
The 5 children go to 4 different schools in the neighborhood. The Sam Tasby Middle School is one of them.
I panicked and I got scared.
Nellie Catalan heard on the news that at least one of those children who could have been exposed to Ebola went to her son and daughter's school. So she came early to pick her children up.
No, I just got scared because I thought that that kid came to that school and probably got contact with him. I know it doesn't get contact by the air, but you never know.
All 5 of the children who may have had contact with the man diagnosed with Ebola are now staying out of school. But many of these parents were told those 5 children were in school on Monday and Tuesday. Maria Gallardo has a son and daughter in another one of the 4 schools.
I'm scared. I'm worried. I'm worried for my son and my daughter and me.
More than 3,500 children are enrolled at these 4 schools, so there are a lot of concerned families. Nobody can offer any guarantees, but the school district has told parents that children are not in any imminent danger. All 4 schools are being cleaned and sanitized over the next several days, but they will remain open. Students say they were given a piece of paper in school that explained the situation in English and Spanish. And it says, this morning we were made aware that a student in your school may have had contact with an individual who was recently diagnosed with the Ebola virus. Now, did that worry you? Were you scared?
Yes, and I don't feel like going to school tomorrow.
Okay, well, I want to tell you and your mother, you don't need to be scared because the person in your school doesn't have Ebola. They were just near someone who had it. So you don't have to worry, okay?
Okay.
Daisy and Betsy are 4th graders who are twins. When you heard about this Ebola stuff, what did you think?
We got scared.
You're twins and you talk at the same time. But are you okay now?
Yes.
Because they're taking good care. The students who are here didn't have Ebola yet. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're coming back to school tomorrow?
Yes.
Now, on Sunday, people in Brazil will go to the polls. That's just a month ago. Surveys were saying President Dilma Rousseff was comfortably on course to be re-elected. But her rival in the race, Marina Silva, seems to be gaining popularity, making Sunday's race an interesting battle between the 2 women politicians.
Grassroots environmentalist who only learned to read when she was a teenager. Marina Silva is now one of the leading candidates to become Brazil's next president. Silva has an inspiring story. The daughter of illiterate rubber tappers from the Amazon, she fought alongside Chico Mendes against illegal loggers. She went on to become Minister of the Environment and a senator. And now, at 56, just weeks after joining the race, she's surged in polls as the Socialist Party presidential candidate. Figures show her giving President Dilma Rousseff a run for her money in a runoff vote. I'm not going to fight you with your weapons, she says. I'm going to fight you with our truth. I was born in the Seringal Bagaço, and I know what it is to go hungry. It was only in August that she replaced Eduardo Campos, who was polling a distant 3rd when he died in a tragic plane crash. Supporters see her as a kind of third way, an outsider who could stamp out political corruption, something her campaign has capitalized on. A lot of corruption and theft. I think people are tired of it, she says. But critics say she's inflexible, making it hard to forge needed alliances. They also worry that as a devout evangelical, her social policies would be conservative.
I don't agree with some of her influences. I think she wouldn't agree with such things as gay marriage.
Preferences are still shifting ahead of voting on October 5th. President Rousseff, with 5 times as much TV ad time as Silva, can't be underestimated. If Silva did win, it would be a novelty for Brazil after 12 years under the same party. Shasta Darlington, CNN, Sao Paulo.
A retired South Korean general has issued new warnings about North Korean tunnels dug deep into his country. The tunnels run beneath the demilitarized zone that divides the Korean peninsula. For years, leaders in Seoul have known of the tunnels. There are fresh fears that some of these underground passages may reach far deeper into South Korea than previously thought.
As a tourist attraction rather than a military threat these days, an infiltration tunnel dug from North Korea to South Korea, passing under the most heavily fortified border on Earth. 3 tunnels were found in the 1970s, 1 in 1990, nothing since. But the Defense Ministry admits there may be 20 in all. Major General Han Song-chu believes he's discovered a new one under a Seoul apartment block. A former 2-star general, now a tunnel hunter. He says residents complained of underground vibrations back in March. Dowsers then detected 3 tunnels up to 12 meters under the basement. His team drilled down to lower a camera. But before they could, Han says their recorder picked up 2 underground explosions. Their drill holes were then blocked. The work, he is certain, of North Korean soldiers protecting the tunnel.
They work hard to make a stone pile to counter coming down the drilling tube.
This North Korean defector was a senior intelligence official within the military. He hides his identity as he still has family in the north. He says Pyongyang's tunnel digging lasted decades before scaling down in the late 90s, but he believes existing tunnels would still be protected. If war breaks out, he says infantry units will be sent into the tunnels wearing South Korean and US military uniforms. The targets are US forces in Korea and taking hostages at the US embassy. Then the Blue House and the communications and gas supply system will be hit. South Korea's defense ministry says a tunnel would not reach Seoul, 40 kilometers or 25 miles from the border. It says there's a 10-kilometer or 6-mile limit because of the Imjin River. From North Korea to Seoul is a considerable distance, says the spokesman, and the soil structure contains a lot of granite, so it's not an easy dig like it was digging tunnels in Vietnam, for example. North Korea has said in the past the tunnels are not for invasion, but part of their mining industry.
With Pyongyang's nuclear ambitions and long-range ballistic missiles, the focus is no longer on these tunnels. The military still officially looks for them, but the budget is small, leaving tunnel hunters frustrated, believing that their concerns are simply not being taken seriously. Paula Hancock, CNN Seoul.
Back home, the Senate Public Accounts and Investment Committee is currently meeting with National Treasury officials, representatives from the Attorney General's office and the Auditor General and the Control of Budget in an attempt to unlock the impasse following the freezing of funds for Kiambu, Kisumu, Murang'a and Bomet counties in August after representatives from the 4 counties, that is the governors, failed to appear before the committee to answer audit queries. Kenegor Badia joins us now live on phone with the latest from Parliament. Kenegor.
Good afternoon to you, Hussein. Indeed, that meeting is now over, and the Senate has given Treasury 14 days from now to immediately stop funding for 3 counties. They have reduced from 4 to 3, and so the 3 counties that are on focus now is Kiambu County, Bomet County, and Kisumu County, whose governors have refused to appear before the Sessional Committee of the Senate on Public Investment and Finance, which is being chaired by Dr. Boni Khalwale. And the argument here is these 3 counties have adamantly refused to appear before the Senate. They have refused to respond to audit queries, and so there will be no need to send more money to these counties until they account for what they have received in the past financial year. So then Treasury is trying also to raise issues saying, how do we separate the 3 from the rest of the counties whose budgets have been questioned by the Auditor General and the Control of Budget. And the Treasury Principal Secretary, Kamau Thuge, is saying that they would need the Senate to be very specific on where there was serious breach of Public Finance Management Act, so that they may be able to act in that manner. And so They have been given 14 days. We do not know whether they will be able to stop the funding because Treasury is still insisting that they need clear guidelines and those specifics where the 3 counties have grossly violated Public Finance Management Act as opposed to the rest, because all these counties that have been mentioned by the Auditor General have so far responded. And but Treasury is saying coming to appear before the committee does not literally mean that you're clean. They are also seeking to know under what circumstances did the Senate clear the rest of the counties from this particular mess. And that is where the Senate and Treasury are at the moment, Hussein.
Okay, Kendra, thank you so much. Kendra Badi reporting live on phone in Parliament. Of course, join him for subsequent bulletins to give you the full report there. The Constitution Implementation Commission has said that the new National Assembly Standing Order requiring Cabinet Secretaries to appear before the whole House is unconstitutional and against the spirit of separation of powers between the Executive and the Legislature. Through its chair, Charles Nshai, the Commission has already written a warning letter to the Speaker of the National Assembly requiring him to amend the Standing Order, failure to which the Commission will move to court to block the implementation of the law. At the same time, the Commission has indicated that the current debate over the suspension of Makueni government was unnecessary, with the Commission saying the constitutional threshold has not been attained for such a drastic measure and that dialogue ought to be given a chance.
We have this morning written to the Speaker of the National Assembly on this matter and advised that if the standing orders are not reviewed to accord them with the Constitution, we shall be taking this matter to court for judicial determination. We have also written to the President as head of the Executive, communicating our views on the matter. In the meantime, we are also calling on the Executive not to be compliant in this process of violating the Constitution.
Rachel Ruto has urged Kenyans to be in the forefront in preaching peace and unity in the country, alluding to the security threat posed by extremist groups in the country. The Deputy President's wife said Kenyans must guard against divisions that can be caused by such groups.
Speaking during an event organized by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO at Lamu Museum Wednesday, the Deputy President's wife urged Kenyans to preach peace and unity in the country, saying that it's only when peace prevails that business and activities such as farming can thrive.
Kwa hivyo watu wa Lamu, tafadhali tushikane mikono na tushike amani, kwa sababu mmeniambia kwamba hii hata amani hii kazi imeleta hii shida, watu hawafanyi biashara. Na mnajua bila biashara kaunti yetu ya Lamu haiwezi kuendelea mbele, kwa sababu biashara ndio nguzo ya hii kaunti ya Lamu. Hata watalii hawatakuja. Kwa hivyo mimi tu ningependa kusema kwamba tafadhali tushikilie amani.
She urged Lamu County residents to ignore inciters and instead busy themselves with upgrading their living standards.
Yale mambo ambayo yalitokezea hapa Lamu yalitushtua sana na pia hayakuwa maneno mazuri. Na huwa anaambia watu kwamba tushike amani, na haswa kina mama na kila mtu, kwa sababu kama ni sisi watu tumeishi pamoja, tumekaa vizuri miaka nenda miaka rudi, tusikubali kutengana na tusikubali watu wengine kutoka huko nje wakuje watutenganishe.
At the same time, Ruto urged women in the area to engage in agribusiness activities to uplift their families' well-being, while youth were advised to take advantage of the funds availed by the government to engage in income-generating activities.
Over 73,000 people face starvation in West Pokot County, according to the National Drought Management Authority, even as residents fault the county leadership for what they say is an uncoordinated response to the ongoing drought situation. Now, the residents are now appealing to the national government to intervene and distribute relief food in the region to cushion them against a prolonged drought season. However, while addressing the residents, West Pokot County Commissioner Saif Matata said that his office has made a request to the Ministry of Devolution, which has promised to distribute the food next week.
Lakini shida kubwa ni njaa. Watoto wamekosa kwenda shule kwa sababu ya chakula. Hivi majuzi tulikuwa na chakula kidogo, tulipewa na shule ya Kakwe. Lakini sasa hizi iliisha. Wakati iliisha, hakuna sasa chakula tena. Watoto wakakaa nyumbani, hakuna kwenda shule.
Na wananchi wa upande hii walikuwa wanahitaji kwa dharura msaada wa chakula ambao hakikishia kwamba Ministry of Devolution ambao wanadeal na maneno ya msaada ya chakula kuanzia tarehe 5 wametuahidi kwamba msaada ya chakula itakuwa inagawanywa katika sehemu hizi